There's a funny thing that's sort of quietly happening, which is that more and more Republicans are just quitting politics in order to, at least in part, get away from a Republican Party that's led by Donald Trump and which might actually reelect Donald Trump to a second term. The latest is Texas Congressman Mike Conaway. He's announced that he's just not going to try to get reelected in 2020. He's going bye-bye. And officially, he hasn't said yet that this is about Trump necessarily, but we have other Republicans on record saying that serving under Donald Trump is an embarrassment. We've got former Republican Congressman Tom Davis, who told The Hill, quote, "Serving in the era of Trump has few rewards. He has made an already hostile political environment worse. Every day there is some indefensible tweet or comment to defend or explain. It is exhausting and often embarrassing." We already heard from Paul Mitchell, Pete Olson, Martha Roby, Rob Bishop, Republican members of Congress, that they're just bailing. They're going away. They're quitting. You'll remember on the Senate side back in 2018 that Republican Senator Jeff Flake said he was bailing out after very public spats with Donald Trump. May have even been 2017. Hard to keep track of how quickly things are happening. That seat was ultimately lost by Republicans and was won by now Democratic Senator Kirsten Sinema. So there are probably some additional opportunities for Democrats as a result of this. You've got, of the 5 Republican members of Congress that are retiring, 4 are in pretty safe Republican districts. Pete Olson's district is maybe winnable. And there's also the possibility that these Republican members of Congress just kind of realize that Democrats are probably keeping control of the House in 2020, maybe even extending their control. They're not thrilled with the idea of another 2 years out of power, particularly under Donald Trump. And so in total, it's not because of Trump alone. They're just going to bail. And there's something funny about this, which is that we've heard rumblings for a month about this, about Republicans who don't want to be serving under Donald Trump. But if there were enough of them with a spine, instead of quitting, they could get together and actually push back against Donald Trump, sort of acting like the check and balance to the White House that they're supposed to be, instead of merely being subservient. And I know that in a sort of strict constitutional sense, there is some degree of subservience, but I'm using the term a little bit more colloquially. I got emails from some people in our audience saying, I actually respect these politicians who are leaving because they don't want to serve under Donald Trump. That's fine. I'd respect them more if they stayed and actually stood up to Trump and changed this path that the Republican Party has taken in the era of Trumpism. Ultimately, whatever the reason is that they're leaving, it's good in the sense that it's an opportunity for a seat to be turned Democratic, even if many of these are safe Republican seats. It's still sort of early, but soon we're going to start looking at House and Senate 2020. The broad stroke is Democrats are likely to keep the House. The question is, do they extend their majority or not? Democrats are almost 100% not going to take the Senate. And I know every time I mention this, I get emails from people who don't seem to get it. It's not my opinion of the tone or direction of the country. It's only 1/3 of senators are up for re-election each cycle. The seats that are up for re-election this cycle favor Republicans keeping control of the Senate. I just don't see any path to Democrats taking over the Senate in 2020. The idea would be try to retain the Doug Jones seat, don't lose more than 1 or 2 seats net, and then maybe be in a position in 2022, hopefully with a Democratic president in the White House at that point, to take over control of the Senate in the midterm that will come in 3 years, I guess it is at this point in time. If you believe Democrats can take the Senate in 2020, get in touch and tell me how, because I simply don't see it. If you love learning new things, you probably want to check this out. The David Pakman Show today is sponsored by Skillshare, and we're giving you 2 entire months of free access to Skillshare when you click the link underneath this video. Skillshare is a vibrant online learning community offering more than 25,000 video classes on just about anything you can think of. Get better at playing an instrument. Learn to use Photoshop, how to edit videos. They have classes on drawing, painting, business, cooking, nutrition, personal productivity, and I'm not even really scratching the surface. I recently took a great class on introductory watercolor painting. I'm still not good, but I am learning, and you can access the entire library of fun, easy to use online courses for free for 2 months by using the link underneath this video. 2 months of learning something that's totally new to you, something you want to get better at, something you already love, or you can get ahead in your career by learning new skills that will help you at your job. I've gotten a ton out of it. Pat has taken some courses that he's found really valuable, and I think you'll love it too. Get started for free by clicking the link under this video.